film opening for the AS course, and we wanted to really create, like, we did some planning on it and things, and we kind of wanted to look into a sort of thriller or something like that.
Like a thriller sort of horror type genre. But yeah, it took a while sort of to plan, but we got there in the end. We took, I think it was about 3 or 4 plans, and we kept changing our mind, but we finally like landed on one.
Yeah, because on the blog we've obviously like added up plans that we didn't even do, but then we added up the other stuff that we definitely were like sure we were going to end up doing. And we sort of ended up with like some sort of like psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we got the influences from like Donnie Darko, Memento, the Butterfly Effect as well.
The Butterfly Effect.
And then we'd obviously like done some like sort of work on analysing film opening as well.
In class.
We did, yeah. We sort of got the field effect that's in our film opening, from like the Green Mile and the Mice and Men as well. So.
Like at the beginning, we sort of wanted like a nature sort of effect, which was kind of sort of not calming, but sort of calming to begin with, but then a bit eerie as well, because obviously it's a thriller sort of genre type. We wanted to sort of make the audience uneasy, because once we were getting the audience feedback, we asked them what type of stuff they sort of liked and what they looked for whilst watching that type of genre, and it was sort of, I think it was that made them feel uneasy, a bit sort of like a puzzle at the beginning, so they wanted sort of to figure out what was going on, so we tried to do that. We tried to make our film was kind of really cliche to a typical genre.
It was definitely like completely like cliche, like using all like this sort of like creepy sounds and sound
sort of
effects
black and white
and stuff.
as well.
Yeah, and that, to create like a tense atmosphere and everything for like the audience. And obviously we didn't, because we created the puzzle thing, that meant that we couldn't give too much away.
Yeah, so we sort of did it quite sort of slowly but in detail as well. So adding all of it in just 2 minutes, trying to compact it. I think we had about 15 minutes to begin with of actual footage, but then we narrowed it down. Yeah,
and we sort of like the character as well that we used the same person, like both, but the audience seemed to think it was 2 different people, as in like in the field and that. So we got some audience feedback and thought, we thought that the character might be like linked to each other, like how there is some sort of thing in the field, and the character that was like sort of waking up in his bed, we had like sort of bird noises and stuff to make it sound quite nice,
which was like sort of ambient sound and like sort of as though he was waking up, sort of like an early morning type thing. And so we made it at the beginning that was sort of his dream / nightmare, and then like an alarm clock was waking him up, and then sort of later on in the end we zoomed in slowly to make more of a tense atmosphere into his eye.
Let's get into his personality as well, and then it can see what he's thinking about and stuff. So it's like, then you can have that, so that we could sort of make the audience think, get inside what he's thinking and see, he might not be all that, like, he might be a bit abnormal or whatever, or have some sort of disorder. Which is also which we got some of the disorders, like some of the influences, because we wanted the influences to be like the 7 deadly sins, like wrath or like
sort of wrath or greed or something along those lines.
It was something like that. And then we thought about like split personalities and like OCD and stuff. So we sort of wanted to portray that idea. Yeah. So we've been doing like some of the abnormal stuff. So we thought we'd do something like that.
So we like sort of linked in stuff we enjoy as well. But like sort of, because I think it's your favourite genre, sort of a thriller as well.
We sort of influence was like our favourite sort of genres, and like the psychological thing, like we don't like knowing what's happening. Yeah. And like sort of it's kind of like scary as well. So it's sort of we sort of like that thing of like being scared. So we thought we'd like add that into it.
We've got a few comments from people thinking we're a bit
strange,
weird. Yeah. But we're not. Don't worry.
Yeah. And. We definitely like sort of try to attract the audience with just the sort of music and the pace of the film, and the sort of like panning of how that uses sort of different camera movements as well. Yeah. But then as well, we sort of like developed most of our ideas from like the preliminary task.
Yeah, actually, definitely.
We?
We've improved quite a lot since preliminary task.
Yeah, definitely. It became like we were supposed to 1-2 minutes. We ended up at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
We just definitely did not get enough footage for it.
Because in comparison, we had like about 30 seconds for the preliminary, but we had about 50 minutes to begin with, so we cut that down for the actual main task. But obviously, the lighting as well, we
definitely developed from that.
Because it was meant to be, we originally had like a coffee shop type of scene, but with the lighting, it was really a tense atmosphere, as though he was being interviewed, so it didn't really link in very well.
Yeah, it looked kind of like a bit weird, and it was just like the way they were all walking across and the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't like as professional, and I think like going through that development has definitely like helped us and like how to use like sound and how important sound is as well in it, because you can't just have like one person talking and then like no sound at all. It wouldn't like give any other effect to them. So yeah,
I think we had like a day on sound where we just studied like sound in particular, and we learned about the ambient sound, the dialogue, because we were originally going to do a voiceover, but to begin with we had the idea of voiceover to get more inside of his head, but then later on when people started seeing it, they said no, it'll be too much editing, and it'll be a bit too much and full on. So we sort of like the idea of sort of deadly silence going across with just little ambient sounds and going in.
Yeah,
and then we let that Foley as well.
Yeah, because obviously like with like the bird sounds and stuff as well, it sort of like stops, and then it's like, oh no, you don't want to go in near him or whatever. So it sort of like
more of a creepy
like shows the character, like sort of portrays him as more of like someone that you wouldn't want to meet in like a like, lonely street where you're like all by yourself and stuff.
But we also made the beginning quite creepy as well, obviously with the sound, but we've sort of done it as though it was from a perspective of some like other person as well, or his dream. So we've on purposely did it out of focus and in focus, so trying to get it in like composition as well, so it creates that sort of eerie effect of something's not quite right.
Yeah, and as well, like at the start we've got like sort of like zooming in and out and then going in and out of focus to give that sort of effect, and I don't think we'd be able to get that sort of like high quality as we did like without like the use of like camera as well, like practicing with camera and the mic and how we're going to use the mic and stuff, and especially the lighting. It's like we made such like a big difference. And then as well that we've used like Adobe Premiere Pro to do all the editing, and then we used some Photoshop for like our logo as well, which we had to change to go
did that about 3 times.
Yeah. So we've just been like, oh yeah, we need to do this, and then we've had like quite like a lot to think about, and then as well like how we're going to put out our film and stuff to people.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
definitely.
Yeah, like how if it'd go out to like the cinema or like into
sort of like more indie type, so it would sort of be like Donnie Darko was originally going to. It was going to just go straight to DVD. Obviously it didn't.
Yeah, because obviously it would be like a low budget film, because it'd be like made with it would be like going straight to DVD, and it would like can't go to like a particular audience, because we couldn't really put like a sort of like age on the audience, a genre age on the audience,
age or gender even.
Yeah,
because obviously a 18-year-old girl can have the same sort of
taste of 50-year-old guy.
Yeah, as a 50-year-old guy, basically.
So it's just you can't.
Like the sort of the aspects that they like and stuff.
So we're sort of aiming at whoever really just what their taste is and what they think is best
it's just
for them,
people that like that
and what
genre.
they like the most. Okay, so
we created a.
We had like obviously our influences from like films like Memento and stuff, and we
liked.
We sort of Yasmin sort of took out things, and
we really liked Memento. It's like sort of the way, obviously because it was backwards, but we sort of we tried different experiments with sort of like ellipsis and like sort of speed, so like sort of fast forwarding things like it is in Donnie Darko, or like rewinding things, so it's like Memento. We tried a bit, but then we thought it didn't really fit well with it.
Yeah, because we were going to put it in because we thought it looked quite good,
but it didn't really. Yeah. And also we liked the montage in Memento. We thought that was really interesting, and it sort of obviously helps like sort of, it's like a sort of sum, like this plus this equals this or something like that.
Yeah, so this plus this equals the character as well, like sort of add up to what the character's like and things like that.
So we actually like took photos instead because we thought we could get like a better shot, and then we sort of made it so it fits in with the rest of it. So we changed the size and
obviously we used the editing and stuff, so we changed like all the sizing and everything just to like sort of fit it widescreen, and then we sort of used the sound effects for like a camera, so it'd be like,
so it's like as though it's taking like
and then it's like taking a photo, so it sort of gives that effect of like, oh, that mise en scene sort of adds on, looks into what he's about. And we sort of had a book and then like a sort of lighter to see how like he's got some sort of rage or some sort of thing where he's like obsessed with something like that.
Because obviously the 7 deadly sins, we sort of like thought of the Holy Bible and stuff because it's quite religious and it's a bit eerie. And sort of the amazing scene, like at the beginning, we sort of had him put his hood up, so it's sort of not like the Grim Reaper, so it's like that, but sort of like death, and sort of so it created like sort of dark circles. You couldn't actually see his face, so it sort of created mystery.
And as well, we had like it wasn't like a black jumper and it was like white, so it sort of like resembled like some sort of split between like death and like alive or something
sort of
like
his
that.
Like personality as well, because we thought like split personality type thing going on. And sort of the mise en scene going into the bedroom, it was just sort of casual because it would be every day of what he would be.
Yeah,
like,
so what would be like what is in his room and like sort of what sort of colours that he represents and what he's like and things like that as well.
Yep. And sort of the lighting whilst panning into him while he was sort of asleep, we sort of made it during the day because we sort of practiced one during the night and it looked a bit weird.
Yeah, so because we didn't really put some like posts up on that as well, like how it was and things.
Although we liked sort of the camera work, but it didn't really go well, like sort of the time of day, so we decided to shoot the actual task in the middle of the day or sort of near the beginning. I think we met around 12ish.
Yeah, we did. We met around 12 and then we sort of went for like all the settings, so our like filming was faster than we thought, so we were like really glad that we got it all done. We were just like relieved that it was all finished and that we just like started on editing, just getting it done and making it look as good as possible. So yeah, that's it.